Welcome back to Sports Talk ATL. I am Chase Earl, joined by Alex Ord. It's the time of the episode for our Just Stop Tweeting moment of the day, and it comes from Elliot Shore Parks. I think I'm saying that correctly. And this is a string of tweets. He is a salty Philly fan. And listen, I'd understand. I'd be a salty Philly fan too. You guys have come so close, yet choke every time. And I love watching your idiot fan bases react because nobody acts more irrationally when their teams lose than Philly fans. But I give Philly fans credit. There's some committed guys. And this is one of the most committed takes I've ever seen. First of all, he says Nikola Jokic or Joel Embiid is better than Nikola Jokic, which is just false in every sense of the world. And the fact that Joel Embiid won an MVP actually pisses me off even more now because you have an idiot like this that can talk like that. He continues by saying, happy the series is over. Nuggets ring is the worst in a long time. Lakers bubble ring is better. The Nuggets beat nobody. It's one of the worst, competition we've ever seen from an NBA championship. And Jokic is not anywhere close to Embiid. It's an overreaction for people saying this. First of all, the Nuggets, people are calling like the 7-seed Lakers a regular 7-seed. Like they were playing unbelievable basketball and they had AD and LeBron healthy. They were playing some of the best basketball we've seen from them since LeBron joined the Lakers, and they swept them. And then they dismantled the Miami Heat, who beat the team that you couldn't even beat when you had a 3-2 lead. So what does that mean about the Sixers? You aren't even the second best team in the Eastern Conference. You're the third best team in the Eastern Conference. And what, are the Miami Heat a bad team because they beat the team that you lost to? And the Nuggets dismantled them. And the Nuggets dismantled the Phoenix Suns, who had Devin Booker, who was dropping 50 on a nightly basis, getting called Kobe Bryant. And, oh, by the way, they had this wingman. Have you ever heard of him? Kevin Durant. Yeah, he's a pretty good player. So dismantled them. The only team that you can say was bad was the Timberwolves, but that's what you get when you're the number one seed in the league. You shouldn't have to play a bad team. I'm tired of this Nuggets thing because the reality of the situation is the Nuggets were so far in heads and shoulders of everybody else in the NBA this year. To call it meaningless is just ridiculous. They were led by the real MVP of the league. The real MVP of the league for the last 3 years. Jamal Murray and him are the best duo in the league. They're going to be competing for championships for years, and you can wallow in your pity because guess what? The Sixers aren't going to do crap. The best thing that ever happened was Doc Rivers getting fired, and you're probably going to hire another bum, and you're going to lose again in heartbreaking fashion because feeble. You want to talk about feeble? Joel Embiid is the most feeble athlete in all of sports. He can't stay healthy for anything. He's not going to be healthy next year at the playoffs. There's guarantees in this world. Death, taxes, and Joel Embiid being injured and flopping around like a fish and complaining about being injured in the playoffs. That's the only thing Joel Embiid is good for.
Yeah, well, they hired Nick Nurse, so we'll see about all that. And I agree emphatically with everything you said. They went 14-4 in the playoffs, and now we're knocking them down pegs because of they're the number one seed, so they drew the 8 seed. That's what we're knocking them. Let's not forget the entire regular season where they scratched and clawed for the first seed. Like they deserved it. And another thing, I just saw this. Joel Embiid has never won a second round series.
Joel Embiid couldn't beat the Hawks. The only reason the only reason the Hawks are relevant is because, had any sort of relevancy, is because Joel Embiid's a choke artist. He's a choke artist. To say he's better than Joel Embiid is less valuable than Trae Young. Get out of here. Get out of here with that. Who would you rather have in a big playoff game, Joel Embiid or Trae Young?
I don't think that's even a question. You can look back at the numbers. And Trae Young loves the brightest lights, the biggest stages, and Joel Embiid, he's a big guy, yada, yada, yada. The guy just doesn't care about winning enough to do all the things that it takes. Conditioning, the flopping for a 300-pound man is just ludicrous. It's ludicrous. It's ridiculous. I don't know how Philly fans, who are, some of the most rabid, rugged fan base, who never let their players get away with anything, let this guy, who's the most dominant force in the NBA today, reminiscent of Shaq, flop around. It's a disgrace to basketball, really.
Yeah, this is one of the worst Just Stop tweetings we've had, and we've had some terrible ones. But the Nuggets were wire to wire. From opening tip of opening night, they were the best team in the NBA. Put some credit on him and Jokic's name. Coming up after the break, we're going to talk about some hilarious Vic Beasley talk.